Hello internet people, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be talking about a conspiracy theory that I recently heard about, and that is that the Earth will lose gravity for an entire 7 seconds on August 12th, 2026. Now that may not sound like much, but the consequences will be catastrophic. Before we get into the video, make sure to like and subscribe to keep me motivated and to watch more videos like this one. Also, I believe that I have a valuable opinion on this matter because I graduated with a chemical engineering degree. Do I have an engineering job? No, but that's besides the point. The point is that science is my forte. So the fact that I have the capability of doing insightful research, as well as my thousands of hours watching space videos on YouTube, I think I have a good contribution. Okay, so if you haven't heard about this theory going around, which I'm kinda late to, the premise is that due to black hole activity, the Earth will somehow lose gravity for 7 whole seconds. So the US government, along with NASA, created a secret project called Project Anchor. This Project Anchor thing is supposed to be some kind of countermeasure against this whole like losing gravity thing for 7 whole seconds. I know most of you saw this claim and or like just laughed it off, but I know some of you out there still believe in this bullshit. So now I will tell you for a fact that there's a whole lot of stinky poo-poo misinformation, and I'll explain why that is. Before debunking this theory, I just want to add that this black hole activity is a real thing, and the activity that is referenced is two black holes colliding. With this collision, gravitational waves are formed and they cause distortion in space-time, aka the fabric of reality or whatever. And this is why people are freaking out about this August 12th, 2026 date, because they think that these gravitational waves are making their way towards us and it will somehow turn off gravity for 7 whole seconds, apparently. So let's just think about this for a second, okay? The fact that people assume people on TikTok and Twitter are more knowledgeable than people with a PhD is kind of just absurd, you know? Like, people would rather trust a post on social media than like a whole well-researched paper done by like 20 PhD students. So to be unbiased, I took 20 minutes out of my night and I looked up this theory. I found out what the black hole activity was, and then I found out what gravitational waves even are in the first place, because I didn't even know about those. And then I concluded by myself that there's nothing to worry about because gravitational waves are not even like related to gravity. Well, partially. I also found out that you need a hypersensitive 4-kilometer machine to even detect them in the first place. The fact that they need a machine this big and this sensitive to even like detect gravitational waves that are like smaller than this is a good reason why we don't really need to care about them in our everyday lives. Like, the waves do still hit us, but like the distortion amount is so small, like an atom small, kind of like your dick. Also, the amount of work to put into a project such as Project Anchor, it would be incredibly insane amount of work. Like, even if the government and NASA were solely focused on the US, that's still 345 million people you gotta like protect. Shit, the fucking country can barely agree to not go to war with Iran. You think they're gonna do whatever NASA proposes? 5 to 10% of the Americans still believe that the moon landing was fake, so like, do you think that these guys would go along with like the NASA propaganda? And don't even get me started with like all the different countries trying to work together. Like, having China, Russia, and the US like trying to cooperate, it would just be a big clusterfest. Like, oh, clusterfuck. I mean, fuck. It's kind of sad, low-key. So when you truly think about it, logically speaking, we have nothing to worry about. But if you're still not convinced, let's turn to the math, because numbers never lie. So sit down and listen up, because it's first lecture time. What we are primarily going to be studying to debunk this whole theory is the gravitational force formula. It may seem quite complicated, but it's actually one of the more simpler formulas in the physics world. Here on the right side, we have G. G is a gravitational constant. Since it's a constant, that means that it's the same throughout the entire universe. So there's no different G for like Venus, Mars, or like any other distant planet. Moving on to M1 and M2. These are the two masses that we want to calculate the force of gravity between. So in this case, it will be us and the Earth. And right here at the bottom, we have R squared. And in this situation, R will be the radius of the entire Earth. With these variables in mind, we can look up every variable in this situation. So for the mass of Earth, that would be 5.97 times 10 to the 24th kilograms. For the radius of Earth, it will be 6.37 times 10 to the 6 meters. And lastly, we have the mass of the individual. Of course, this will vary from person to person, but since we can use an average here, since the difference is so minute, we can use an average of 67 kilograms. Is 67 still funny? I don't know, let's move on. So when you plug all those numbers in, the result is 658 newtons of force, more specifically gravitational force. So to have the gravitational force be equal to 0, which it should be when we lose gravity for 7 seconds, we need one of two things to occur. One, the laws of physics stop working entirely and the gravitational constant is equal to 0, or two, the mass of the Earth or us would have to completely disappear somehow, but we would still have to have enough volume to still exist as an entity. I don't know, it's kind of weird. As you can figure it out, neither of those two things will happen on August 12th, 2026, or any day as a matter of fact, because it is literally quite impossible for either of those two things to happen. Even with the gravitational waves and the black hole activity, the waves aren't enough to affect gravity on Earth or us in any sort of way. So what do we learn? Well, for one, don't trust people on the internet, especially those who think that they know more than people with PhDs. Secondly, do your own research. For me, it only took 20 minutes out of my night to just find everything about this out. And lastly, just think about things for like more than 30 seconds, like, please. Anyway, debunking that was pretty fun. But what if it did happen? Yes sir, I'm reaching into my Vsauce bag with this one. Okay, so let's just say that this situation did happen. What would happen? So first, let's talk about what would happen on Earth, which, I mean, it's gonna be including us, so I don't know why I typed that out, but ignore that. Well, everything on Earth would immediately go upward. That means any body of water, trees, soil, even the air in the atmosphere would start going up into space. So that basically means no breathing for 7 seconds. So you better be able to hold it that long. Even the Earth itself start moving away from the sun due to its gravitational relation to the sun. And in this situation, we could apply Newton's first law of motion. And if you don't remember what the first law of motion states, let me tell you real quick. An object at rest stays at rest. An object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So since gravity's gone in this situation, then but Earth will start drifting away from the sun ever so slowly. Well, however fast we're going around the sun is however fast we would start going away from the sun. But since it's only for 7 seconds, we would kind of just drift off a little bit, enough to just be a tiny bit cooler than usual and not be outside of the habitable zone. This could low-key be a way to like put climate change on hold for a bit. Just move the entire I keep saying the sun. Just move the entire Earth just a little bit further from the sun, you know. But not only will the Earth start moving away from the sun, the Earth itself starts shattering layer by layer like a goddamn onion. So the crust of the mantle will just start separating from like the core of the Earth into like a fucking like diagram. So that means the natural disasters start occurring, such as like earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes, and basically everything in between. But since humans are a tad bit narcissistic, let's talk about you. More specifically, what would happen inside you? Well, one of the many things that will start happening is that the air inside your lungs will start leaving your body. It would just like float up and just go out into the air, leaving along with like the atmosphere. So that means that no matter how hard you try to keep it in, it won't matter. It will just go through every hole in your body and just disappear. But that's not the only thing that the atmosphere is taking away with you. The atmosphere will also take away pressure that the air provides. And since our ears are pretty used to that pressure, our ears would not take kindly to having it taken away. So as revenge, they would just burst. Our ear canals would just burst and we would not be able to hear anymore, basically. It would just go, and there goes our ears. And finally, we know the fun fact about humans being like 7% water, right? Well, that fun fact would not be so fun anymore if gravity were to disappear for 7 seconds. All that water that's distributed throughout your body, it would start going up, and you'll probably be able to feel it rush in, you know? Well, more like rush out, because it will start leaving your body as well. And this is because of the pressure difference from the inside of your body to the outside of your body. There will be less pressure outside your body, so yeah, the water will escape to the more lower pressured environment, which in this case would be outside your body. Well guys, that was the August 12th, 2026 conspiracy. If this theory ends up being true, then I guess I won't have to worry about getting any hate because we'll all be dead. But I have a good sense that I have a good argument on why this won't happen at all. So if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to see any future videos, hit the subscribe button. If you have any other theories that you want me to debunk with my science brain, just leave them in the comments and I'll look at them and see what's up. So yeah, have a nice day, and hopefully I'll see you after August 12th. Bye bye!